Hi, I'm Sue Parker, founder of Elite Empowered Leaders in Tech, which is all about helping you to build a successful career in IT. And I'm a head of business intelligence at a global organisation. I wanted to make this video today to talk to you about restructuring and redundancies and the impact that can have on us, but then how we, instead of shying away, can actually pull ourselves up and take some positive steps, some positive action steps to progressing our career at a time when it really feels like it's just not going to happen. And I speak from personal experience. I have been through several restructures. They are really upsetting. They sort of knock the wind out of your sails. When they're announced, you're thinking, am I at risk? You don't really know what your position is. And you start to feel worthless in your own position, as if you're unappreciated and they don't understand the value that you add. Especially when the results of that restructure mean that you're either demoted, a job title is stripped away from you, you're at risk of redundancy, as if you add no more value than anybody else, when in reality you know you work harder and you work longer and you're the one that solves the problems. So what I really want to talk to you about in this video is avoiding the sorts of behaviours that mean you just keep your head down, get on, shy away, and dream about leaving and finding something else without actually putting the right steps in motion to progress your career and take those positive steps and deal with the issue. So what I want to do is, my mission is to give you some steps that mean, instead of shying away and being forgotten about and sidelined, which you might feel that they want you to be, it's about showing those people you will not be sidelined. You have got value, you've got so much to offer, and this is how you can do that. And the first time I experienced this level of restructure and change, I didn't follow these steps. And as a result, for about 6 to 12 months, my career didn't progress. I probably fell into a really down, low state. I was definitely difficult to work for. But what I learned is how to respond to that in the future. And the next time that happened, I was able to deal with things much clearer and figure out what it is that I've got to do so that I don't shy away, I don't get forgotten in the corner, and I don't get forced to leave, but I get myself in a really strong and confident position so everybody knows my value. And then when I decide that actually I want to make a move now, whether that's in that company or elsewhere, I'm in a really strong position to do it. So I'm building this really good profile and building me up in the process. So I'm going to take you through the steps. I hope, in fact I know, that you will get so much value from just following 3 of these steps. They are going to help you to lift yourself up and deal with whatever it is that you're going through right now. So the first stage to that is accepting it. Accepting that it's okay to be angry, it's okay to be upset, it's okay to have 1,001 questions. So on the practical side of things, in your work, your professional facade, you are to make a list of those questions. Find out everything. Information is kind of power. It's certainly information that's going to help you to be comfortable and prepare for what's going to happen. So if there are to be redundancies, find out who's at risk, which departments, which areas, how many, and what sort of process they're going to go through. Figure out very quickly who your decision makers are so that you can internally decide what that means for you. And we know we've got our own allies, the people that will defend us, come rain or shine, they will hold our backs because we helped them out and we did those projects for them or whatever it was. But we also have the people who don't really understand what we do. Unfortunately, especially in IT, I find there are certain people in the business, certain decision makers who don't know what's involved. I work in data and it's really difficult to show somebody a tangible product for what you do. Quite often they'll see a dashboard produced at the end, or a report or a graph, and that means something to them, but to them that's a 20-minute job. What they don't see is all the data manipulation, the transformation that goes on behind the scenes, and your role might be very similar to that. So there'll be certain people in the business and possibly decision makers who don't have a direct visibility of the value you add, but that doesn't mean you don't add any value, absolutely not. Then when you know what's going to happen, it's really important to recognise your own value, your own strengths, and build up your own confidence. So I know, for example, at this point I'm feeling pretty worthless. I have just been moved, in effect, what felt like down 2 rungs in the level in the hierarchy, but was never given the opportunity to step up and say, but I can do that role. You've just given it to somebody else and put me under them, but I can actually do that role. I was never given the opportunity to apply for it. It was part of a company restructure. So I'm feeling pretty worthless, and I'm thinking all these people here don't think I'm valuable enough, and that's really demoralizing and really knocks your confidence. You really start to question, what have I delivered? What have I done? And that's the time to stop and reassess your confidence. So here's what you're going to do. Practically, we're going to be practical, we're going to be logical. You're going to think back over the last 6 to 12 months. What is it that you've been part of, that you've delivered, that you've worked with, that you've added so much value to? What have you been doing? For the last 6 to 12 months, I want you to go back through your projects, get your pen out, write it down. We want this factual information of what we've achieved. Write down your achievements in the last 6 to 12 months in that company or wherever you've been. And really focus on your achievements, your strengths, the value, the thing that you brought to the table that nobody else did at that time. And you will have unique things, you just need to think about it. And sure, some stuff might be a team effort, but there's a lot that is about you, that you will know what you were involved in, what you delivered, what you contributed to, and you're going to write those down. So this is part of step 1, building up your confidence, realising your value and your worth. But it's also going to give you a bank of ammunition that when you're talking to those decision makers, when you're having conversations with managers, you make them aware of all the other things that you've been involved in, all the other things that you've added value to. And there will be comparisons and similar scenarios going on now that you can draw those things out. So here's what you've done. You've heard the news, you've addressed the fact that emotionally you're allowed to be upset about it. You are gathering as much information as you can about what it is that's going to happen, who's making the decisions, what are these decisions based on. You have your historical capture of my achievements, so I know exactly what I've been doing, what I've been contributing, and I'm ready and armed. Now this next one is going to take some bravery. This is where you're going to reach out to new managers, old managers, decision makers. You are going to make connections, you're going to talk to them, you're going to mention those amazing accomplishments that you have, those achievements, those things that you worked on, the value that you've added. You're going to drop into conversation, you're going to hold meetings with these people where you're going to talk about the work that you do, and you are going to be armed with all the value and all the positive things that you've been part of, your team have been part of, and the things that you've done while you have been there, or reference to previous projects in other organisations, because this might actually give you a bit more scope to branch out in an area that you're really interested in, and you didn't have the support in order to pursue before, but now you're going to have that support level. So make it a daily goal to speak to somebody, to set something up in your diary every single day that means you are building that support network, those allies, and making those connections with decision makers about what are your accomplishments, all the things that you have done that are incredible. And then reach out amongst all your network. So all those people that you've worked with, maybe people have already been made redundant, maybe they've been let go already as part of the restructure, they weren't survivors, and maybe you have a little bit of survivor guilt about contacting them, but do. These people, like you would have felt if you're that person that's been made redundant, whose role's been made redundant, you'll be feeling forgotten, unwanted, and worthless. And to connect with that person, to make them feel and to make you feel, for others to connect and you to keep in touch with the people, the colleagues that you spent most of your week with, is really important. Don't lose those connections. Not only will it create a greater network when it comes to knowing what opportunities are about, it's also about having that support. The people you can call on, not just when you want a LinkedIn recommendation, although that is one really good thing, but also the people that you can call on who understand that you can help you to progress. So keep in touch. If you're made redundant, keep in touch with your existing colleagues. they might be nervous because of that survivor guilt to get in touch with you. And if you're somebody who's in a company where colleagues have been let go, then keep in touch with them. Keep your network building and growing. And now quite often after restructuring, you get these shifts in management focus that mean new opportunities become available. And what you need to do now is keep your eyes open, your eyes peeled, and your ear to the ground for whatever new initiatives or new focus there is. Whether it's a new project, whether it's a new business area they're focusing on. What is the thing that's coming out of this? Maybe they're developing new functions. There might be a focus on fraud, for example, and there wasn't a fraud department before, and you're really interested in that. Whatever it is, keep your ears to the ground and your eyes peeled wide open. Talk to everybody. Figure out what's going on. Do this. Be one of the first ones to express interest in a new role or in a new project or whatever it is. And it might be that it isn't an exact fit for what you want to do, but if it gets you increased visibility, which special projects always do, if it helps you to grow your knowledge and skills in an area, then ask yourself, are the benefits of being part of that far greater than the fact that it isn't an exact, direct, linear, a linear progression route to where I want to get to. But just keep your eyes open, because quite often there are new roles as structures start to develop that will give you an opportunity to progress. Remember that by putting yourself forward, volunteering for new opportunities or stepping into cross roles, so things that don't normally fit in your remit but actually filling a gap there, can be seen as a really positive way of working, and it can help you to get noticed. Now, I don't want you to shy away and waste 6 to 12 months of your career like I did, becoming a bitter person who was unpleasant to work for. I want you to use these strategies to help you progress and come out of this with a really positive mindset. I hope you found this useful and you're going to use these strategies so that you can come out of this process with a career progression route going in the right direction. And you can always revisit your career success plan. If you'd like to learn more, click on the links below this video. Here's to a really positive, successful career journey, no matter what it throws at us. Take care. Bye.